Hello, everyone. My name is Rodney. Welcome to Shed Skin Ideas. Um, I recently made a video and I tried editing it, but now the editor's no longer compatible with my laptop. I do have an outdated laptop, so now I'm going to be working with just making this video on OBS and using my laptop camera instead of my Canon because all of a sudden just stopped working. So feeling a little frustrated here. Anyways, my last video was about what I believe, what anime I believe has the best potential of being a video game. And that anime is Kaiju 8. Now, with other anime games, we'll say solo leveling. Solo leveling, the anime was extremely awesome. It was one of those animes where when the next season came on, I would watch that season, go back, start the whole thing over, just so it can just flow. And I usually don't do that with anime. Usually I watch the season, move on to the next one. But something about the flow of solo leveling was great. Well, they made a video game, right? And it looks phenomenal. The graphics are amazing. The fighting, smooth. Um, there's some things I didn't like about it, and one of them was being the fact that they even made the game. And the reason why I say that is because I felt like the game had no soul or heart. Just because the anime made a lot of money, they made this game. Well, with all that money, they made a smooth fighting game, a great looking fighting game, but overall, it just seemed pointless to me. You don't the it's just you get to choose from all these different fighting classes with different fighting styles, and it's cool. I mean, the bosses were reasonable, right? So it's just they only made it because it made a lot of money, and overall, it's just a weird game. Um, I don't know. I explained it perfectly in my old videos, my other videos, um, a whole lot better. But I just wanted to make this video again, talking about not solo leveling, Kaiju 8, and why I believe it's the best anime to be made into a video game. One, I see it as having actual replay value and something that a community can come together and play. Something that has the potential for just progression in general. So the whole point of Kaiju 8, the the game idea at least, is to join the defense force. And it's just the setting where it takes place, the urban environments. I can see the environmental interactions of buildings falling down, um, blood splattering everywhere, blood raining from the sky. Um, and the most important is obviously combat. It would be a shooter game, and one of the things I wouldn't want this to be is one of those running and gunning games right off the bat. There's tons of gamers out there who have first person shooter experience or just shooting game experience. And because they're so experienced, they go out there and they're able to just hightail it and all that, which leaves any newcomers a disadvantage. So if we look at the weapons that they've made, they're they have that glow, that fluorescent glow, right? And I could just see it something that can be personalizable, something that you can actually create your character. Imagine you create your character, you are a young kid who joins the cleanup crew just like Ichikawa, and you go on to try to be be part of the defense force. Now, when you end up becoming a part of the defense force, you'll be competing with other players to level up. Meaning, in a battle royale or a multiplayer game, there's a certain amount of targets. When the last target is eliminated, the game ends. So imagine a bunch of um, basic beginning kaiju, and we'll say 20 of you get dropped off in that location. And while the big kaiju or the boss kaiju is being fought in the background by like Mina and the rest of the high rank defense force, you'll be taking out the small stuff. Now, there's 20 of you that just got deployed, and we'll say there's 80 kaiju. The more you eliminate, so the more kills you have than all the others, the higher your score will be, the higher your rank will become. So it's a race to see who can eliminate the most. When you're not out there killing kaiju and you are training, it's a way to uh, level up your character and try to create a character that works for you. As I mentioned, these experienced gamers going out there running and gunning. I want something. Uh, so, with just shooting games in general, what I really want to see is some type of pressure that's put on the player, which is sensitivity. Sensitivity really controls how how well you play in a shooter game. And I was suggesting a or an accuracy stat where accuracy isn't how well you shoot the target, but how much you can change your sensitivity. And of course, you have like running, strength, stamina, and you keep on leveling up so that way you can have a high power outage output. When you're training and you start ranking up and you level up, and eventually you get to the point where you get that special weapon, right? I see a lot of potential in making a variety of different weapons. Not only that, they have like different colors. The giant axe, yellow. The dual swords, purple, etc. So if you imagine all the fluorescent lights or like glow sticks, for example, there's a lot of potential of having an axe with multiple colors. So if all 20 of you go out there and you have axes, there's just a lot of vibrant combat fighting. It's fancy. Um, or guns that freeze the opponent. In the last video I made, or the video that I was going to put out, I was talking about how Kaiju 8 leaves flexibility to create things that aren't questionable, because a lot of people want realism or to have a mechanic or a feature to make sense. So when we think of ice, we think of like a crystal blue color. But imagine a gun that shoots something similar to ice, but it's like a red crystal or yellow crystal. I mean, electrons, protons, neutrons. When this energy hits this chemical reaction, um, it's just like it's one of those things where it would look really cool and it would not spark any question like, why is my ice red? Does it really have to be ice? It can be like a crystalline or some type of crystal type gun, right? That crystallizes um, the cells of a kaiju, it whatever. Now, in solo leveling, we have all these different ranks, and you can't really rank up. What you are is what you are. That's what makes like Jinwoo awesome. Except you can't really play it multiplayer, and when you do, for for example, everyone's not going to be like everyone can't be the same character. That's lame. And no one wants to play as the other characters or fight over which character someone wants to be. That's so Kaiju 8 having the ability to create your character, huge. And especially for the kind of artwork that it has, I think it's not just doable. It is something that would really stick out. The artwork is so simple but so creative that I can see a whole lot of variety when it comes to meeting other players online. So I also talked about like a perk system. Usually, like in Call of Duty, you choose between three perks, right? Well, I was thinking something more along the lines of having five specific perks that help you in certain situations. For example, with the environmental interactions of buildings collapsing and falling, well, it can fall on you. So, how about a perk that's similar to what we would call like high alert, except for what it does, it's when you're battling, you intuitively know that something is falling, and your person will automatically, like in a movement assist, to get away from the the debris. Now, depending on your speed and strength, determines how much damage is actually done to you if something does fall on you, and how fast you can evade the situation. Also, by having the accuracy um, stat, you never know what kind of kaiju you're going to be going up against, whether they're fast, agile, have lots of stamina, they can move a lot, whatever. So this leaves you in a position where you have to get in good position to shoot. Um, a kaiju could jump onto a wall to the top, but having uh, the ability to just whip it and it it wouldn't be cool off the bat. Is what I'm trying to say. By having this natural opposing restriction, it creates tension. If it once you start leveling up, that tension um, alleviates itself and gets more intense, as in fast paced, making it more exciting. Um, as I said, you don't know what kind of kaiju that you're going to be going up against, so you might have to run and move and get in a new position to get better, a better shot. So start off as the cleanup crew. You do certain things in the city to appeal better and get the and reach the requirements for the first exam, and then the second exam, and so forth. And then you get to learn about certain creatures during the cleanup crew, so that way when you do become a defense force member, when you see certain kaiju that you're familiar with, you know exactly where their weak spots are. Because not every weak spot is in the head. Some can regrow a head or regrow an arm. Um, it's only instinctual to aim at least uh, chest high, right? Preferably chest, smaller target, obviously. But that's what we know as what usually generally like does damage. But it can be simple as hitting a little part of the back of the neck, the most exposed part, you know? So even creating kaiju, I think a lot of developers would enjoy um, the creative project of that, making all these different designs and um, specials. Then you get to a point where you actually fight higher tier, higher caliber threats. Also, to make it more immersive and to be more attached to your character, you go around the city. You do basic human stuff, and then you wait till you get a beeper, then you try to get to where you need to be whenever you have to. Maybe a little banner on the top, alert, report to here as quick as possible, or uh, accept a investigation mission. So it doesn't have to be just shooting. It can be as far as investigating or patrolling. We'll say restricted areas that are closed off to the public. Um, Maybe you spot something down there. Um, there's so much potential, I believe, in a Kaiju 8 game. But yeah, I would like to hear what you guys think, and um, what do you think about the game overall, and how do you feel about the accuracy stat? I mean, imagine if you had six stats to choose from, and you're only limited to um, five stats with a cap of three, right? So if you put three on accuracy, yeah, you can move better, like shooting wise, but you're not really fast. You don't have the stamina. You're not really strong. Leaves you vulnerable. I believe this is a great way of making each individual different from the other to have a different gameplay experience every time you play. If you do multiplayer on, we'll say, like Call of Duty, generally y'all move the same speed unless you have like a speed perk, or you limit yourself to just smaller artillery. Um, but yeah, tell me, what do you think, and what do you think would also be a great addition? Um, as I mentioned, going through the city, is it so investigating, helping people out, building up a reputation to possibly af- affect it, like how fast you rank? Uh, Publicity. They're always reporting on these reporters, so maybe that counts as more publicity. And yeah, I guess that's about what else. All that I have to say. Um, All right, thank you very much, and y'all have a good one. Drop a comment, a like would be appreciated, um, and also share this because the whole goal of my channel is to change gaming with my voice. I am not here to talk about why AAA game studios are failing or doing worse and the reason why or how they could do better. I'm not one of those kind of content creators. I specifically want to talk about game ideas, and maybe with our voices together, we can um, share these creative thoughts and possibly experience them in the future. I have I've mentioned this in my previous videos. I don't have game development experience. And I have all these ideas that I wish I could just really create, and it really stinks to know that I'm limited in that, and time is something to be invested. If I was to invest my time in game development and making games, it would be too late to share this message. I mean, just imagine them making a Kaiju 8 game, and for what fucking reason? To make money because it's an anime game? I think video games and anime have the hugest, most, the greatest potential in generating revenue. Anime is expanding. Video games are in this like weird situation, right? Triple A's and indies. So let's let's use this time and invest in our voice. Don't be afraid to speak up. Say what it is that you'd like to see, things that you think would be cool. Even if you're a young kid and you think your ideas may be not the greatest, I like to write. And one of the things that I've learned in writing through reading uh, many sources, I have many books about helping me uh, cultivate my hobby of writing. And one of the things that I've read in a uh, it was a video game development book, and I got that book 12 years ago. And I wasn't making video games. I was a writer, but I just wanted a different source to just expand my knowledge, really, like just have a different point of view of things. And one of the things one of the things that I read was it's not about the quality of the idea, is about the quantity. Because what happens is if we focus too much and so much time, if we focus so much time and effort on a singular idea, we miss out opportunities to create new things. Not everything is perfect, but what is true is polar polarities and differences. Like red and blue look so great and sound so good together because of that. Hot and cold, yin and yang. When we create all these different ideas, we're able to find ideas that complement one another and can be tailored to make something great. So uh, don't don't be scared. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. If you want to hoard on to your game idea, go ahead and protect it. Because the truth is, there are people who have the knowledge to get your idea and make it possible and take the credit for it. That's why I never shared my ideas. But it's time for me to wake up to reality and just tell the world my ideas and see what happens from that. All right. Thank you, everyone.